What's up, you guys? This is your girl, Queen Talks Crime, and I am back with another video. Thank y'all for liking, sharing, subscribing. Shout out to everybody that's commenting, and just thank you for watching. I will give a short PSA. We stand for the victims as well as defenseless children or people that cannot speak for themselves because they're either deceased. So, if you are very sensitive to certain information, maybe this isn't the channel for you. If not, welcome to my channel, okay? So, we're going to be speaking about Cash Gernon, okay? All right, and I'm going to title this video is Darriynn Brown only at fault? Is he the only perpetrator in this crime? Okay, is Darriynn Brown the only perpetrator for this crime on Cash? Okay, so Darriynn Brown, he's a teenager suspected for killing Cash. Gernon has said he is not the kidnapper, caught on security footage snatching a boy from his crib. And this happened in Dallas, Texas. Okay. He took the boy out of his bedroom. It was via footage. It's everywhere. It's on Google. It's on YouTube. The footage is everywhere if you want to see it. The footage is out there, okay? He took the baby from the bedroom as he slept next to his twin brother on the morning of May 15th. The child was later found dead in the street, covered in blood, a mile away from his home. Okay? Home surveillance footage showed the suspect, later identified as Brown, standing over the twins before he carried him away. Court documents say. This document is from The Sun, okay? The U.S. The Sun, okay? So let me go back. Home surveillance footage showed that, he carried him away. Brown's defense attorney, Heath Harris, has said cops have the wrong guy and his client did not break into the home and kidnap the boy or killed Cash. This is not an open and shut case. Even if you believe that Brown is on the video, it doesn't mean he killed the kid. Harris told the Dallas Morning News. The world is basically prejudiced this whole community by saying that's him, the defense attorney concluded. Who is Monica Sherrod? Okay. Monica is reportedly the girlfriend of Cash's father. 4-year-old Cash and his twin brother were staying in Sherrod's Mountain Creek home near Dallas, okay? And they were staying with Monica Sherrod. I want you to remember that because I'm going to make a very important point, because some things is not adding up with Monica to me. It's just not adding up with Monica to me, okay? So we're going to remember Monica, the twins, Cash and Carter, and the victim is Cash, stayed with Monica in her Mountain Creek home. Okay? Darriynn Brown was warned to stay away from the boy. Gernon's guardian warned Darriynn Brown, "Don't come around my kids," just days before the 4-year-old was allegedly kidnapped and killed on May 15th. Monica Sherrod, 35, said she had warned Brown off just days before the alleged murder. "I told him, 'Don't come back around my kids,' she said. 'I was out grocery shopping when he was here. I'd left the twins with my boys and daughter.'" Sherrod was watching 4-year-old twins Cash and Carter Gernon on Saturday when a suspect, identified by police as 18-year-old Brown, barged into the Dallas home and abducted the tot, who was later found dead on the street. But prior to that, allegedly, she said she had warned him to stay away from her kids. Okay? Which I find that conflicting. And I'm going to explain to you why it's conflicting to me. I'm going to explain that to you. Okay? How did Cash Gernon die? The Dallas medical examiner revealed that Cash Gernon died of multiple stab wounds. Police said that his wounds appeared to have been inflicted by an edged weapon. And let me tell you the charges that Darriynn Brown faced. Brown is currently facing charges of kidnapping, burglary, but investigators expect a file to a capital murder charge after a forensic analysis has been carried out. Cash Gernon was found stabbed to death and dumped on the street by a jogger on a residential street early on May 15th in the Mountain Creek area of Dallas, Texas. There are people claiming that the cops have the wrong guy. Darryn's fifth attorney, Heath Harris, claims cops have the wrong guy and his client did not break into the home, kidnap the boy, or kill Cash. Okay. They're also alleging that the suspect has a mental disorder. And this is what his lawyer is saying. The lawyer for kidnapping suspect Darriynn Brown believes the teen has a serious mental disorder. Heath Harris also claims that 18-year-old Brown is not the man seen in the video taking 4-year-old Cash Gernon from his bedroom. That's yet to be seen. I personally believe that that's Darriynn Brown on the video. Now, that's me personally. And y'all are free to believe, whoever you believe is on that video, okay? You're free to believe whoever's on the video, okay? And Brown's attorney is saying he's yet to see video footage, and I don't know why or how. When you're the attorney and the video is all over the world, it's all over the YouTube, it's all over Google, it's everywhere. So how have you not seen the footage? One more thing. So it was said that Brown also was a friend of Cash's older brother. So Cash father's girlfriend Monica Schreier identified Cash and said that he was asleep when the suspect broke in and kidnapped him at 5 a.m. local time. Okay? And as well as Brown was in and out of Monica's home. Let's talk about the past burglary and victim. Okay? Let's talk about Brown's incident before Cash. Let's talk about that. Just 2 weeks later, Brown and the man ran into each other in Walmart, where Brown allegedly apologized with the granddad, claiming he said he was sorry for breaking into his house and trying to take his grandchild. Child abuse detectives met with the homeowner on May 18th to interview him about the interaction, and the man told them he now wants to press charges against Brown. But this was just 3 days before Gernon was found by a jogger on a residential street in the Mountain Creek area of Dallas, Texas. Okay? Let's go back even further. Now, what I just told you of him apologizing to the grandfather, the neighbor, whose child that Brown tried to abduct before he took Cash. The homeowner managed to get Brown out of the house before he returned and started kicking and damaging the door between the home and garage. He then regained entry and allegedly punched the man in the head. We're talking about the neighbor, the grandfather, whom Brown tried to take his 2-year-old granddaughter. So the man, the granddad, grabbed his daughter from Brown, and Brown got physical, aggravated, agitated, and started hitting and attacking the grandfather, okay? The affidavit claimed that he carried her toward the laundry room at the back of the house while the man was shouting to let her go. The man then physically removed her from Brown's grasp, put her back on the couch before confronting Brown in the kitchen, according to the document. Brown allegedly punched the man in the face one more time before fleeing from the back door. The grandfather told cops that the little girl was startled and began crying when she awoke to Brown holding her. However, he decided not to press charges. It is also said the reason charges was not pressed. Go to the Sun. Go to the Sun. Okay? Go to the Sun. The reason why charges was not pressed was because Monica asked the neighbor not to press charges on Darriynn Brown and said he had a mental breakdown. My question is to Monica Sherrod, what is your relationship to Darriynn Brown? You had to be somewhat, some type of way close to Darriynn Brown to go to a neighbor where Darriynn Brown physically went into this man's home, broke in, physically took his granddaughter and assaulted him, and you begged this man not to call the police? What is your relationship with Darriynn Brown? Okay? What is your relationship with Darriynn Brown? Then, little ways down the line, he takes Cash out the house, stabs him to death. Now he's locked up. Could this all been avoided if the grandfather went on and pressed charges and got Darriynn Brown off the street? Okay? If he went on to press charges and got Darriynn Brown off the street, would Cash be alive today? In my opinion, yes, he would. My opinion, Darriynn Brown would be alive today. Cash Gernon would be alive today if the grandfather would have pressed charges and Monica would not have begged him not to. Another thing that doesn't sit well with me with Monica is, for one, you asked that man not to call the police on Darriynn. He had a mental breakdown. My one question was, what is your relationship to and with Darriynn? As well as I read in another article that not only did you ask that man to do that, but you had Darriynn Brown in and out your home with your children, with your boyfriend's kids, as well as your children. You had that man that you know is physically capable of harming a child, that you know went and kidnapped the neighbor's child. You had that same man in your home around your boyfriend's kids and your kids. That doesn't seem very smart to me. That's an issue for me. Okay? And then he ended up doing the same thing to Cash. Could this have been avoided if you would allow that man to press charges and get Darriynn Brown off the street? And if you would have not let him in your home around your kids, he would have not known where to go and get Cash out of the bed to assault him. He wouldn't have known. He wouldn't have known. You had that man in your home around your kids different times, and you knew what he was capable of. I'm sorry, not sorry. Monica Sherrod is not innocent to me. I feel she in a big way neglected and child endangered those children. If you would have allowed that man to call the police, Darriynn Brown would have been off the streets. He wouldn't have been able to hurt Cash. And with this mental disorder, if he does have a mental disorder, he wouldn't be able to get the help he needed. Another question. With this man having a mental disorder, who is his guardian? Normally, older people that has a mental problem or mental disorder, their parent is a guardian. So who was actually responsible for Darriynn Brown? Who was his legal guardian if he was really had a mental problem? Most people with mental problems have someone that has guardianship over them, that checks on them, knows where they are at all times. If Darriynn Brown was some way mentally disturbed, where was his guardian, and why wasn't they watching him and not just letting him go freely roam the streets, roam the neighborhoods, committing crimes? Where was the guardian? Who was responsible for Darriynn Brown if this is indeed true that he has a mental problem? These are the issues I'm having with Cash's case. Now, people may be upset about what I have to say about Monica. I really don't care. Because the only victim in here, in this case, is Cash. He should have been looked over. He should have been taken care of. He should have been safe. There should not have been a Darriynn Brown in his home, around him, with Monica knowing what he did to the neighbor's granddaughter. What do you think he was going to do to your kids as soon as he got the chance? But you yet brought him around the kids. And then afterwards, you wanted to say, oh, don't come around the kids no more. Well, the damage was already done. He already seen the inside of your home. He already know where the boys slept. He already know how to break in, what door to go through, how you won't wake up, how he can get into the boys' room without you knowing. He already know everywhere in the house. It's too late. It's too late now. Now, you telling him to stay away. He gets in, he takes Cash, and he murders Cash. Darriynn Brown is not the only person at fault here. In my opinion, Monica should have some type of neglect and child endangerment charges and hindering prosecution with the neighbor's granddaughter. Because you're hindering prosecution going over there asking that man, pleading with him not to bring charges against Darriynn the first time. That's hindering an investigation. Okay? So, you done hindering an investigation. You child endanger, brought the same perpetrator that you knew did what he did to the neighbor's granddaughter. You brought them around your kids. He knew every child endangerment, neglect. I mean, it's not just Darriynn, okay? It's not just Darriynn. Monica is at fault in this as a parent, as a guardian that's supposed to protect kids. Your job is to protect children. You do not put them in harm's way. You just don't. And some people may disagree, some people may agree, and that's totally fine. But something just don't add up when it comes to Monica. And it just doesn't sit well with me when it comes to Monica. It just doesn't. Because you're just a little bit too much into everything. Why does Darriynn feel comfortable coming to tell you what he's done? You went to go plead with the neighbor instead of letting him call the police. What is your relationship with Darriynn Brown? And I just find it very weird and odd that you tried to protect him from going to jail the first time, and then you allow him around your kids, and then 2 weeks before Cash was taken, you stopped him from being around your kids after you already brought him around. So he knows every inch and cranny of your home to go in, abduct the child, and do whatever it is he want to do. He knows. And now you expect we the people to fully support you and believe that you're going to get on the witness stand and point to Darriynn Brown, he's the one that took Cash. And we're supposed to believe you after you already tried to not get him locked up the first time. So it's kind of like, whose side is you really on? You know, who are you really for? Who was Darriynn Brown to you? That's what it boils down to. I just kind of don't trust Monica. I don't know the real role she plays in this case, because I'm just looking at her sideways, because anything that comes with a child, somebody trying to abduct a child, you're going to notify the cops. You're going to press charges. You don't protect people that tries to hurt kids, because when they get a chance to, they're going to do it again. Even with a mental disability, they need to go get the help that they need. Period. So, what was the relationship again? What was Monica's relationship to Darriynn Brown? Where was Darriynn Brown guardian? Was they keeping in track with Darrion's whereabouts? Who was his guardian? Who took care of him? If he had a mental disorder, who was his guardian? And are we supposed to trust the same person, Monica Sherrod, to point out Darriynn Brown and believe everything she says when she's already impeded an investigation and tried not to get him locked up before? So now she went from being on his side to against him when he should have never been around and he should have been in jail the first time. And maybe Cash will still be here today. So I'm looking at Monica sideways. I do not trust her. But to each his own. You know, some people, believe she's a victim. And, that's on them, They can believe that she's a victim. Me personally, I looked at her funny when they said she asked the neighbor not to call the police. That was a red flag automatically. Why not? Why not? So like I said, it depends on how you look at it. But Monica, I feel, plays a bigger role. And she should be brought up on some type of child endangerment, child neglect, impeding on an investigation from the first time that Darriynn Brown should have been locked up. And that's just my opinion. And in my opinion, it's not just Darriynn Brown's fault. It's hers too. She's very complicit. Because if he would have went to jail at the beginning, Cash will still be alive today. And that's just how I feel about it. Thank y'all for watching. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. If you have any questions or comments below, post them below. I'll be back with another video tomorrow because I did my research on Samuel Olsen, and that is another bizarre case. You are not going to want to hear what I have to say about Samuel. And that whole mess of a case, it's really crazy out here. So protect your kids, love your kids, know where your kids are at all times. Stop trusting people around your kids. Know who you have around your children. And y'all be safe. I'll be back tomorrow and we'll be talking about Samuel Olsen and his case because there's not just one person guilty in that case either. All right? Well, y'all be safe and y'all have a good night.